Hello everyone, this is grade 6, module 1, lesson 27 problem set. For today, we're going to be looking at percent problems. So let's start right in with 1. And it says, Mr. Yoshi has 75 papers. He graded 60 papers. And he had a student teacher grade the rest. What percent of the papers did each person grade? So, the first thing we have to do is I want to try to figure out the percentage that Mr. Yoshi graded, because if I can figure that out, I know that all percentages that we're talking about are out of 100, so I can just subtract what he finished. So I know that he has graded 60 of the 75. So what I'm going to try to do is get that to a number where I can then make it out of 100, because I'm looking for a percentage and all percents are out of 100. So I know that if I divide 60 and 75, I know that 3 goes into both of them. 60 divided by 3 is 20, and 75 divided by 3 is 25. Now that's a key thing, because I want to make sure my denominator can go into 100. So I'm making equivalent ratios. I had 60 to 75. Now I have 20 to 25. They're equivalent ratios because I'm dividing by one whole, 3 over 3. But I wanted to make sure that my denominator can get me out of 100. So now it's just 20 25ths. How do I get from 25 to 100? That's a times 4. And that's a times 4. And again, it's not times 4, it's times 4/4. And I always like to show that because we're not multiplying 20 25ths by 4, we're multiplying by 4 over 4, or 4/4. So that'll get me 80 over 100, meaning that's now out of a percent. That's now a percentage because it's out of 100. So 80%. And that's Mr. Yoshi. So how do I figure out the student teacher? I just have to take 100% and subtract 80, and I know that that's going to get me 20. So the student teacher did 20%, because that's what it says. It's asking for the percentage, not the number of papers. But that's pretty easy as well, because it's going to be 15 for it. So that's how we figured out number 1. Now let's take a look at 2. 2 is a little more in-depth. Mrs. Bennett has graded 20% of her 150 students' papers. So we need to know how many papers does she still need to finish grading. So 20% is 20 over 100. I know that. So I'm going to try to get this down to where I can get it to go into 150, because that's how many total papers she has to grade. That's the whole. We are looking for this part. And that's really important that we know if we're looking for the part or the whole. If we were looking for the part, then that's where we would have to make sure this top number goes into it. But since we're looking for the whole amount down here, we want to make sure our denominator can go into it. So I'm going to reduce this down, and I can see, simplify this down, and I know I can take off, if I divide by 10, or a 10 over 10, I know that's going to get rid of those. So I got 2/10. So now, I'm not going to go any further, because I see 10 can go into 150, and I like that a lot. Because that's times 15, which means on top I got to go times 15. And again, we're not multiplying 2/10 by 15. We're multiplying it by 15/15, because it has to be out of one whole. And what'll happen now is I multiply 10 times 15 gets me 150. 2 times 15 is 30. So Mrs. B graded 30 papers. That's for my statement. but it says how many papers does she still need to finish grading. Well, if she did grade 30 and there's 150 total, I can subtract that. So she still has 120 papers to grade. That's a lot. Kind of glad I don't have to do that. So that's how we figure out these percentages, and when we have whether we're looking for the part or the whole or the percentage. So it's really important that we take note within the problem what we're looking for. 150 was the total number of papers. 20% was what she graded, so we had to find the part for that one. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the rest of your problem set.